Today, we are going to do a deep dive review of the MTN OPS Faction Backpack. We're going to go over all the specs of this backpack, and if you'll hang out all the way to the end of this video, I'm going to tell you where I think this backpack doesn't fare so well and where it really does shine. So please do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Towards the end of this video, if you think it's really helped you out or if it's helped you make a decision and a purchase, please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, and you can check out the other videos. Before we break down the review of this pack, we're going to go ahead and jump online on the MTN OPS website, and we're going to look at the specifications and the details that MTN OPS provide for this pack.
We're going to go to MTN OPS, we're going to go to gear, we're going to go to all accessories, and we're going to look at the Faction Backpack. The Faction Backpack is currently $124.95, has an overall rating of 4.89 out of 5 stars. The listed dimensions from MTN OPS is a 35 liter, 22 inches tall, 12.5 inches wide, and 8 inches deep. And we will go through and verify all this information. This backpack is perfect for daily users as an office laptop pack, or for those who travel and want a little larger pack to carry on a little more luggage, as well as safety compartments for your passport and important documents. And if you're looking to maximize your organization with this completely open compartment or flash bags to take your organization to another level, safe compartments that sit next to your body, open compartment to maximize space for all of your gear, additional interior and exterior pockets for more organization, exterior straps designed to compress and hold packed tight against your body. So that's pretty much that. And they got some photos here, pretty good photos. It looks like a airport or maybe a mall environment gym bag. That's a pretty good example of it loaded down pretty heavy, how it fits. Now what I did do was I just added a container of Ignite to the cart. So we can see the container's been added right here, so $50 for that. If we scroll all the way to the bottom, to unlock the offer for the Faction Backpack, it's $124.95 as a cost. The total order has to be at least $500 to get the pack for free. If you include the deduction of the $124.95, basically that's $375.05 is what we're kind of looking at. Once you spend the $500, the pack comes for free. So that's kind of the price difference there in that. We'll start going over this and see if it's really worth it.
So to begin our review, we're going to do kind of an overall exterior evaluation of the backpack. And I really do like the pack as far as the aesthetic appearance of it. It's sort of this OD green with black pockets on it. And the pulls are a paracord, and they're kind of rubber coated. And kind of the rubber coating actually reminds me of a rubber coating that goes over wiring. And I think the rubber coating is kind of a debated thing. Colin personally doesn't like it. I kind of do, but at the same time, I've always had trouble with paracords once it starts to become unraveled. And I think this is kind of a quick fix for that. So I think it's kind of a nice touch, especially when you consider the price point of this backpack. And it does have a kind of a cool MTN OPS logo at the top of it. And the material of it is a really nice material, and it is waterproof. It kind of reminds me of a dry bag, if you've ever had any experience with an earth pack. And I'll grab one really quick. So if you look at the material on the MTN OPS Faction Backpack and the earth pack, you can see that they're very similar. And obviously this isn't going to withstand any sort of like heavy downpour, rain, or submerging or anything like that. But it will do a fair job in a small shower, anything like that that you may encounter. Now, if you do have this in the backcountry as a hunting pack, anything like that, what you probably want to consider is, if you're expecting any sort of real rainfall, is zip top bags, an extra dry bag, something like that. Any sort of important documents, anything like that, you're definitely going to want to have a backup plan. But this is just going to handle a really light rain. Now, continuing with the overall evaluation of this pack, I thought it would be great if we could just weigh it and get an idea of the empty weight of this pack. So I threw this together real quick, and it's just a food scale, and we've tariffed the weight down to 0. And I just got a cheap cutting board here that I can throw this on top of for a surface, and we're going to throw it up on the scale. And I do not know if you can see this whatsoever, but it comes out to be about 2 pounds, 11 ounces empty. Now, the zippers on this pack are really durable, and the stitching on it is actually really exceptional. I'm really surprised by the stitching of it. So to kind of dive off into the storage compartment on the exterior, we'll get rolling on that. Now, the outer pockets of this are really nice. And again, these are sort of a nylon material with a liner, and the main exterior pocket comes out to be a 11-inch opening at the zipper. And it is about 9.5 inches deep on the exterior of the main pocket. It does have a divider, and also has a slot so that you can store pens or Sharpies, something like that. And as we move around to the side, it actually has a bottle holder It is a mesh material with elastic at the top of it. And on the other side of it, it does have a pocket that does have the same orange liner made of the same material as the front main pocket. So the side pocket measures about 6 inches deep and about 6, maybe 6.5 inches wide at the zipper. It's kind of hard to get flat without something in it, but you're going to get the idea on that. So it is definitely a nice pocket, has good room in it. Now your water bottle pocket is going to come in at about 8.5 inches deep, 7 inches wide, so you have plenty of room for hydration bottles. Now, as we move around to the back, the straps do leave a little bit to be desired as far as padding, but that really is okay because the application for this backpack really doesn't justify a ton of padding, and we'll dive more into that later. Now, on the straps, I do like the exterior webbing. It's sort of this MOLLE style webbing that you could put like an iPad, you could put a knife on it, you can carry anything on the exterior, and it's just extra carrying capacity that you can put that's easy access while the pack is on, and I really like that about it. Now, the straps do have a chest buckle on it, and it does have a really good positive engagement. It's super easy to adjust, and it does have a piece of webbing around it to keep it in place, so I like that. Now, at the top, it does have a carry handle, and this carry handle does leave a little bit to be desired. But also considering the price point of this pack, it's really not a big deal. If you compare it to something like an Eberly stock that's going to be a lot more money, it's not the end of the world. It does have a carry handle. It just doesn't have that big price point of a super ergonomic heavy duty handle, and that's okay. It fits the bill. Now, as we move to the back padding of this pack, I know the straps don't have a ton of padding on it, but the back area of the pack with the padding is really impressive. It has great ventilation. It has ventilation channels through it, and the padding is really thick. Colin and I have carried this pack on tack. We've done Total Archery Challenge with it, and the padding on it is super comfortable, especially if you've ever carried anything that is just a super cheap grab off of a big box store shelf type of pack, because everybody knows within an hour or two, you're absolutely covered in sweat, and those packs can get extremely uncomfortable. This is definitely not that pack. It does have great padding, and you can carry this all day long and not have to worry about that uncomfortable feeling. Now, there is some storage on the outside of it on the back. I think this is a great idea. So you can see that there is a storage pocket right here, and it's just above the padding. And to give you a quick idea, it's about a little over 6 inches deep, and the opening on it, 4.5, 4 3/4 wide, something like that. So that's a great little pocket right there. Now, the Mountain Ops website does state that it has a laptop or a tablet storage area, and I'm assuming this has to be what they're referring to. It's not absolutely huge. We'll go ahead and get a quick measurement of that area. So it does run the depth of the pack about 17 inches, and it is about 9 inches wide. So if you have something like a 17-inch monitor laptop or something larger, it probably won't fit this, but it is a nice pack. You can see that I can get my arm all the way down in it, and it does have really good padding on the inside for both sides of the pocket. And again, all the zippers on the back do have that positive engagement, and they do have the paracord with the rubber coating. Now, at the very top on the front of the pack, just above the Mountain Ops logo, it does have a small pocket, and that pocket does have a divider inside. So you have a couple compartments, and I'll go ahead and get you an overall measurement of that. So the opening at the zipper is about 7 inches wide by about 6 inches deep. And I really like the fact that they integrated this pocket at the top with easy access. Now, on each side of the pack for your main compartment, it does have buckles and straps so that you can cinch everything down. And these are basically just a larger version of the chest strap buckles, and they really do have positive engagement. You can see that they pop out good. I really like the placement of them above your main strap. That way you can keep a lot of that weight on the top of your hips instead of carrying that weight on your shoulders. So this was really well thought out for this pack. And as we move on to the main compartment of this pack, we are going to get it unzipped. And as you can see, it unzips from the top all the way down to the very bottom. It has 2 immediately accessible pockets, and I'm going to give you a quick measurement. Those come out to be about 10 inches deep, and they are about a little over 5 inches wide each. So you have storage there, and also at the top of that, you have another zipper compartment, and you do have some room at the top of that, which is pretty standard with a pack like this. That storage area actually goes all the way to the bottom again. So to the zipper, it's about 15 inches, and the mouth of the zipper is about 11 inches. So you actually have some additional storage at the top, so you can add a couple of inches to that 15. And what I thought was kind of cool about this pocket is they actually carried over the same zipper design with the paracord and the rubber coated ends all the way to the inside. So again, for the price point of this pack, they really thought this out, and that's pretty impressive they carried this over. Because my thought is a lot of companies would have just thrown a normal zipper in there without any thought process since on the inside of the pack. So I thought that was kind of a cool touch that they thought that through. Now on the flap of the pack where it opens up, you have a mesh pocket, and again, same zipper style with the same paracord. And I'll give you the dimensions of this. So this comes out to be about 7 inches deep, and the mouth of the zipper comes out to be about 7 inches wide. So this is a really nice pocket for anything that you want to grab quick. Now with the pack open, I'm going to have to give you the two downsides of this pack. Now Mountain Ops, I love what you do and I love what you stand for, and I don't want you to be upset with me, but I have to point out the obvious. The tag inside clearly states made in China. That really breaks my heart. I hate to see that, but I understand it's the world we live in. It's the market we live in. But man, at the price point, I'd really love to see a pack like this made in the States. I just hated to see that made in China tag, but it is what it is. Now, on to the second thing where I think this pack doesn't do a marvelous job. And I'm not calling anybody out for this. I think it's just the reality of the situation. On Mountain Ops website, one of the things that they state this pack could be good for is a daily carry pack. Now, my opinion about this pack is if you're carrying that much stuff that you need a pack this big, you probably should do some reevaluation and lighten your load. That's just my opinion, because this is a big pack for a daily carry pack. Now, the laptop or tablet pocket on this pack is kind of small, but if you have smaller electronics, that's really not a big deal. My opinion, again, with this backpack, I just don't think it fits that bill for a daily carry backpack. With the electronic pocket being rather small, and me personally, I like a 15 or 17-inch laptop monitor, but I'm also not a person that really carries a tablet. I'm usually carrying a laptop if I'm carrying any sort of larger electronics like that. And again, this is a large backpack for a daily carry. So those are really my two major downfalls of this pack. One, I love to see it made in the States. Two, I just don't think this pack fits a daily carry. Now, I've thought a lot in detail about this pack after using it for over a year. And I actually took a notepad and sat down and made a lot of detailed notes about this pack. Now, the first application where I feel like this pack really shines is in events like Total Archery Challenge or TAC. And the reason why I believe that is because we have actually used this pack multiple times for events like this. Now, when we participate in TAC, it's normally myself, Colin, and Colin's mom, my wife, Amy. And normally the kind of the situation is Colin will be carrying his bow and any sort of small extra gear. I will normally carry the pack and my bow, and then Amy will usually end up doing photos and video for us. And so this pack is the perfect size for 2 or 3 of us. So if we start out in the morning and it's cold, we can take a hoodie off, we can throw it in the pack. We have plenty of room to carry hydration. We can throw a water bottle on the side. We can fill up at water stops. We can carry a couple of tools for bow repairs, anything like that. But this pack is the absolute perfect size. So for TAC events, one of the things that we came up with to carry our arrows so that we don't have to have a quiver attached to our bows is just a cheap piece of PVC pipe. And we actually put some plumber's insulating foam down the end just so that we can drop the arrows in it and it doesn't beat up the fill tip. And I'll give you the dimensions of this real quick and then we'll walk through how we mount this. So the inside diameter of this PVC is 2 inches and the length of it is about 21 inches long. And I don't know if this was by design or not. I have to guess no, but it just really worked out perfect. If you want to use a hydration pouch, it fits down in there perfect. And you can run a strap around it and buckle it in. Also on the other side, the pocket's plenty big and you can strap it down. So at that point, you have a quiver, you have all your gear in your pack, and you can carry your bow, and you're not having to walk around with your quiver attached to your bow, carrying extra weight in your hands all day. You can have your arrows right here. They're mounted securely, and you have your pack. That way you have all your extra gear with you. Now with the quiver mounted on there, one of the things that I thought was super cool about this pack, and I really didn't even mention these earlier because honestly, they're just kind of out of the way, is there's a couple of buckles and straps that mount to the bottom of this pack. I'm gonna flip it around here so you can try to get a decent view of it. But they just mount at the very bottom. And one of the ideas that we came up with once we realized that these straps were on here and we could use this for quite a bit of extra storage is when we're out shooting TAC events, and this is a large one, actually the camera is sitting on my small tripod. That's normally the one we carry, a small lightweight aluminum one. But the big one would just be demonstration purposes and you'll get the idea. But you can take a tripod, strap it to the bottom, and now once we're out shooting a TAC event, if we stop, we want a group photo, run into a group that maybe wants someone to take a photo for them, shoot a video of a shooting, whatever the situation is, you can pull this tripod off really quick. You can set it up. You can get whatever shot or video you want, and it just hangs off the bottom of the pack. Now, obviously, you're going to want something either aluminum or preferably carbon, but this thing absolutely works perfect for that application. It rides in a good position on your back. It's not too fatiguing, and I think it's just an absolute bonus that you can carry a tripod off of it like that along with your quiver. So that's the first application where I feel like this pack really shines. Now, the second and primary application where I feel like this pack really shines is going to be a solo 1 to 2 day hunt. Now, the reason why I think that is I think this pack has so many features that fits that really, really well. Now, I don't know if any of these were by design, but as I've messed with this pack, there are so many features that have stuck out that fit that bill so well. And Colin and I have actually experimented with it, and it just never fails in those sort of applications. Now, I'm going to run through why I believe that in as many details as I can, but that doesn't mean that some of those won't change over time. I'm just going to tell you where I'm at with this pack now for that sort of application. And if you are in an area to where maybe you want to go set up in a stand, maybe a tree stand, a pop-up blind, and you're going to either mountain bike in, you're going to hike in a couple of miles, maybe you're going to go in and be there before daylight, you're going to set up, you're going to stay there all day until the dark, maybe you're going to stay there that night until the next morning. Maybe if you're just going to go up to a ridge, you're going to scout for a day or two, you're going to see if you can do a spot and stalk and then head back to base camp. I think there are so many applications that this backpack is almost perfect for. First thing is, if you're going in a few miles or maybe you're mountain biking, I really like the padding on the back. It's going to be comfortable to get you in wherever you're headed. The straps don't have to have a ton of padding. That's not a big issue for that sort of situation. It's not like you're going to be out for a week or 18 days or anything crazy. These are going to be plenty sufficient for what you need. I really like the MOLLE webbing on it so that you can put a knife on it or maybe an IFAK on it. You can be really creative with whatever you want to put on this. Now, on the back side of it, and what's kind of considered, I guess, the laptop or the tablet compartment, for me personally, I would fold rain gear down really flat, and I would use this for rain gear because it's not like you're really going to need it in a pinch. You're going to see clouds coming in. You're going to know that you have a possibility of rain, so that's something you could access pretty quick. That would be my opinion with that. Now, the small pocket on the back side, I would probably carry something like a zip top bag or maybe even a really small dry bag. And I would put any sort of important documents in that because, again, they don't have to be accessed really fast. You're just going to need them with you. Something like your hunting license, something like your identification, something like your hunter safety. Anything like that could go in this small pocket and be secured. And you know you have it when you need it because it's going to be right up against you and it's going to be secured. There would be no other reason to access this pocket. It would just be riding with you. I really like this pocket at the very top of it for immediate access. Now, if my IFAK or my individual first aid kit isn't strapped to the webbing on one of the shoulder straps, my IFAK immediately goes to the top front pocket on the front of the pack. And the reason why I like this top front pocket is it just has such immediate, easy access in that type of situation. Now, there won't be anything such as bandages or ibuprofen or Pepto, anything allowed in this pocket. The only thing going in this pocket is going to be things such as C-locks, maybe an Israeli bandage, a tourniquet, anything that is serious trauma that you want to have with you and you want to access really fast. That's going to be this pocket if it's not strapped to one of the strap webbing. In the large pouch, I really like the fact that it has a divider, and I really like the fact that it actually has the slot for a pin. Now, anybody that has any experience when training with tourniquets or any sort of quick clot, C-locks, anything like that, you know you want to mark the time and the date and any sort of applicable information to any sort of injury. And even if it's not you, if you run across a fellow hunter or an outdoorsman, a hiker, a camper, you want to be able to mark that stuff. It's super important. My suggestion is in the slot right here for a pin, I would put a Sharpie, and preferably the Sharpie that has a pin end on it and a Sharpie end on it. And the reason why I say that is it just eliminates an extra item. If you need to fill out a hunting license, you have a pin. If you need to make a figure mark, such as a time indicator or a date stamp, you have that ability also. That would be immediately what I would use this pocket for. Once I was through with my IFAK side, getting any sort of injury dealt with, you can mark it and you have that available. Now, outside of that, I think this front main pocket absolutely fits the bill to carry any sort of quick nutrition with you. And that's something you're probably going to want to carry with you, especially if you're hiking in several miles, maybe mountain biking in several miles, anything like that. You can throw Mountain Ops bars in there, throw some fruit in with it. You can throw some Ignite in with it. You can carry the travel packs or protein powder, mix it with water, keep your hydration up, and you're good to go. I think this fits that bill perfect. It's got good space for it. Obviously, you got your water you can carry on the side. One of the things that struck me as super cool about this pack, as soon as I opened it up and I laid it out, and again, thinking about that sort of individual first aid kit, emergency situation, keeping your documents squared away, as soon as I opened this up, the sea of orange caught my eye. You could hang this on a pop-up blind. You could hang this from a tree. You could put this on the front of a tree stand. You could tack this down in the middle of a field. This is so visible, and it's really large for what it is. You can see it basically goes end to end on the table. And so from end to end, we're looking at about 4 feet, and the width comes out to be about 22 inches wide. So if you're in a serious situation where you've done a solo hunt and you've been out there longer than 24 hours or 48 hours, or whenever you told whoever your contact is and you're not back, this is an amazing signal flare. I really like this. Outside of that, again, just like the TAC application, it has plenty of room. You have your rain gear in the small pocket that's on the back side of this pack. You can put your layers in here. That way, when you start out in the morning time, you have your layers on. As the day goes on, maybe you're glassing, maybe you're set up in a stand, maybe you're just out scouting. You can put those layers in here. You can keep them close to you. I think this pack absolutely fits that bill without a doubt. Now, that's just my opinion on the pack. This is what's worked out for us. If you have one of these packs and maybe you feel like it fits a different application, please do me a favor, leave a comment down below. And just to demonstrate the utility aspect of this pack, as we've been discussing for an archery event or a 1-2 day solo backcountry hunt, or a couple of people over the course of a day or so, we're going to load this pack up and we'll show you how it fits and sort of the capacity that it carries. So I've got quite a bit of stuff here, as you can see. And just to represent Mountain Ops to the fullest, we have got a Caramel Mountain Ops bar. We have got a Venture bar. We have got an Ignite sampler. We have got a full canister of Yeti. And we're going to load that up here. And we have got some Magnum protein powder. We're going to stick that down in. We have got a small container of the Ignite. And we have got my absolute favorite. We got some Keep Hammond caramel. Or is it caramel? I think it's caramel. Whatever it is, I like it. And we're going to attach our quiver, just as we spoke about. I'll go ahead and cinch these down a little bit. And now the other side to cinch down. We've got our quiver. We can maneuver this by the carry handle. We've got our shoulder straps loosened up. We've got our shoulder straps tightened up. We've got our chest buckle. Good solid engagement. That is basically how it fits. So it's really well. It carries a great amount of equipment. And that's the Mountain Ops Faction Backpack. So if you've enjoyed the video, please do me a favor and go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. We really appreciate it if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hang out with us at the channel. If you're interested in the Mountain Ops Faction Backpack, go check them out over at mountainops.com. And as always, please get out and enjoy the outdoors.